And so I had someone that I trusted, you, to be there.
Yeah, because we were still going to
Well, I trusted
like
everyone.
the regular competitions
Yeah.
with the whole studio plus the TV show kids.
Oh, I know. You were holding the fort down, if you will. Anyway, I could have done Dance Moms, 5 different casts. And I think back to when things really went wrong. And I feel like if you turned 14, you're out of the group completely. And it should have been a new cast member coming in. Then it wouldn't have been like a whole new cast.
Right.
You knew D-Day was coming. When that kid turned 14 for competition season and was too old to be dancing as a junior,
yeah, that
then
makes sense.
they would go and a new kid come in.
I mean, sometimes it would get pretty overwhelming and things like that. But no, I don't know. I was pretty calm just because I could step to the side of things, or I could, I guess, walk out of the room and do something, in a different room. I wasn't always camera in my face, say this, say that, do this, do that. I did have some free range from personally on the show where probably no one else did.
No, and you didn't have to do the interviews every Tuesday. They would call you in.
I would have to do an interview, like if you didn't come or if you left, and I had to do something on camera. Like if I had to,
they wanted you to talk about it.
They wanted me to talk about it and just like kind of what was happening.
I remember saying, Gianna, like I would see you in passing for the interviews. I'm like, what are you doing here? You're like, oh, I had an interview.
And it would be like one line.
Because of something had to make sense.
Or if a mom would have tried to come at me or say something, I would always steer it the other way. I would never fight with anybody. But they would have to interview me about it and say, why did she ask you that? Or what were you feeling when she asked you that? Things like that.
Right.
Nothing too crazy.
But towards the end, when Abby decided to not finish season 7,
I begged her not to go to work.
Yeah, but I'm curious about that. They made it just so rude. I feel that they were kind of just like, oh, we're just going to do our own thing. And then you were like, okay, well, see ya. Like,
well, yeah, because at that point, I kind of knew it was nearing the end. So I was like, well, this is it. I'm good. I put in my time. If you can't see what I've done, what we've done for this show and on the show,
and like, made you how much money and
good luck. And they called me and offered me more money and all this money and this and that. And I said, nope, I'm good. If it was about the money, I would have quit a long time ago.
Right. Yeah, because she got screwed big time. But I told you not to go. You shouldn't have had a dance agent negotiate your contract. You should have an attorney. Well, but that's in hindsight.
Yeah.
So, but saying that, you knew it was nearing the end.
I was just like, it's just too much now. I was just kind of over everything that they were doing. I was over the way they were taking the show.
Overproduced.
Yeah.
And when you say taking the show, tell our viewers, listeners, what direction they were taking it.
They were just trying to make all the kids be like, they don't need us anymore. Things like that. Like they could bring in somebody and just go win a dance competition with whoever. Okay, let them do that. If they can't see, if they don't really need us or really want us, okay, we don't need them.
I don't know. I'm sure some of our viewers, listeners know. Did they ever win anything?
No.
After
they weren't even making top 5, and then we had other numbers going to competitions with them.
I remember that
like from our studio, because we would do that some weekends. Like if we were local, our other kids would come, and our other numbers were beating them.
And the last episode that they did of that season, which was supposed to end much before that, as you guys have said, for Is There Still Hope? That was supposed to be the last episode of,
I love that dance.
The best dance.
The addiction
I'm so grateful
piece.
that I got to be there.
Oh.
With the black. Abby wanted them to be in pink and black, and I was like, no, they're wearing black.
Yeah. And people say that routine went too far, and it just, and it's
people
just like, that was the whole...
Whenever people ask me my favorite routines, I always say that run of routines, it was the pink dance, the hot pink dance with the rose petals.
Yes.
It was the denim dance with the shovel.
The overalls.
6 feet under or whatever.
And then, what about the
Bryn
Western,
was like under
the Western
piece.
Oh,
my mom and my grandma were at that one.
We had those costumes for years.
And then the addiction piece. That whole run of dances, it was like Kalani, Bryn, Nia, Kendall, like that whole crew. They were older. They were in the teen division now.
Yes.
And they were like it was a really good like run for us, I feel.
They were gorgeous.
It was. And that was supposed to be the end, and then they took the show in a
That
different
should have been
direction.
the end.
Yeah. Remember
it was,
when
I
they
remember
got us out of there?
I was rushed out of the competition myself, and Steve, who worked on the show, who's my fiance now,
Yay, hi, Steve.
and he and I were heading into the city for the weekend after because that was the finale, and we were going
Some
to
of the
stay
moms
for the
were,
weekend.
too.
A lot of people were, the crew, like a lot of people were, and so I was like, no, I have to wait for Steve. Like we have like a black car or whatever, or whatever, transpo coming to take us into the city. They're like, no, they like literally put me into a car.
Me
Took me
too.
to the hotel. And I'm like, wait, but my luggage is still at the competition. Like I had brought it with me in the morning and things like that. And I'm like, this isn't working, blah, blah, blah. And there was like, no one talked. No one even looked at me. There was nothing. It was just like,
I was thrown
I was
into the
literally
back.
thrown into a car.
So was I. And it felt like I was being kidnapped or something.
Me too.
And I left my
and
phone.
we were separate. Like we weren't together being kidnapped.
Yeah, that would have been fine. We would have went to a mall or something. But my phone was plugged into a charger
So we
in
had
the
no
room.
idea what was going on. And then after the fact, I feel like a lot of the crew didn't either
Oh, interesting.
until like a few minutes before.
Oh, interesting.
so yeah, the show was nearing the end, and just I would like to get to a question, if that's okay, because you guys did bring up Baby in the Box or Baby in a Box, and Pan Princess, who is an ALDC elite on Patreon, asked, we've heard a dance your group did called Baby in a Box was going to be the finale dance for the girls at one point. Are there any other dances that you wish you guys could have redone for the show?
Oh, like from when I danced.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never gotten that question.
I would have done Left in the Dark with the older kids.
Oh, I love that one.
It's Barbara Streisand.
Abby let me redo that dance once. It was with Jessie, Emily,
Oh, yeah.
Taylor, Miranda.
With the guys.
It won a lot with Jesse Johnson.
He's on tour
I know.
right now. He just finished tour with Rosalia to sold out crowds in Paris and around the world. He's doing wonderful. Shout out to Jesse Johnson and his nice, sweet mom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. So first of all, the Baby in the Box music does not exist anymore.
Well.
I still have a cassette tape of it, though, in my parents' house. I think I took it from one of the competitions. I don't know.
It exists. You have it.
I don't. Let me think.
We would have done, well, the kids had to be older. They had to be seniors to do that dance, Left in the Dark.
A lot of, Abby had a lot of really, really great numbers, like when I was growing up.